FedEx full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, they don't need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Command is moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, or shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, DC Sports Podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Mammoth. That is K-Dot. This is not a Shades Monday. No, not by any means. We were favored by 10.5 points at home to the Dallas Cowboys, who were coming off a short week. We had a mini bye. We were a bit more rested than them, a lot healthier than them. We lose the game 34-26. So this is going to be our post-game thoughts, along with the comment mailbag, as we always do. Before we begin the episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
Share this shit. No.
Let's just go, man. Let's just go. Yeah, this sucked. This sucked, right? So let's go straight into the post-game thoughts. K-Dot, the main theme of this losing streak now, it's a losing streak. The Commanders dropped to 7-5. They're currently in the 7 seed. And now you look behind you a little bit, there's some teams creeping up. It's becoming a conversation there. But the offense over here, what is going on? Let's talk about Kliff Kingsbury, because there is this narrative that second half of seasons, there is a bit of a drop, and feels like we're seeing that right now.
Yeah. And I remember saying in the last pod that if the offense didn't show up in this particular game, then the conversation would have to be had as far as the Kliff Kingsbury portion of it all. Watching the All-22 last week, I did see certain guys open at certain points, just wasn't executed. So there's a part of me that believes that there are certain aspects of Kliff Kingsbury offense that is still working. The problem that I'm seeing right now more than any other thing is the play calling and the sort of the game script and what he's doing to adjust in real time to what a defense is doing. Now, I'm sure the All-22 is going to be a lot more illuminating. I got to tell you, this is the All-22 I'm least looking forward to. But because shit, man. There's so many situations in which we talk about how the running of the football is such the identity of the team. And I get that, and we can champion that, and that's something that's important. But because of what they do a lot of times on first down, they put themselves in a situation where they can't sustain anything run-wise, and they don't get first downs in order for the run attack to really become anything. If you can't get the stuff done on first down, and you can't queue up plays right enough to get some yards or to get something done on first down, then nothing else is going to potentially work. Like, you can look at the numbers as far as what we did running the football today, and like, all right, nobody had enough carries really. I mean, except for Jaden, I guess, at that point. But like, it was with B-Rob even going down. There was a sort of situation where it was just like things were over way before they could get in a rhythm on doing.
Yeah. So, and I just tallied it up. The running backs combined for 17 carries for 57 yards in this game. If you watch the preview episode that we had, K-Dot and I both said, run the ball, just run it. Now, Brian Robinson does get hurt on the very first play of the game. He does return. Thank goodness he even returned, even for a little bit. It looked really bad. So I'm glad he was even able to return. Did that affect Kliff? Maybe. But it does sort of feel like a who are we type of situation, because early on in the season, we are still committing to the run. We're getting more yards on first down, like you had said, K-Dot, which allows you to set up more. If you're getting into 2nd and 7, it gets a bit trickier, or 2nd and 8 gets a bit trickier. But I'm wondering if we're going through an identity crisis right now, just because 17 carries, I don't care if B-Rob gets hurt or not, against this team is unacceptable.
We're going through an execution crisis, which is what's happening. Is nobody's executing at the level at which they need to execute. And we'll get into the players, but we're trying to keep it to Kliff for the most part. If it's the Kliff aspect of something that's not being executed as far as the play calling goes, where's the quick game? Where's the quick passing game? It's gone. Where's the intermediate routes? They're gone. It feels as though every time the Jaden was dropping back, it was either to throw a fucking screen, which against a pretty loaded fucking box and guys kind of knowing and telegraphing like, all right, we know they're going to throw a lot of fucking screens, and none of them seem to work any fucking more going back weeks now, right? That's something you see defenses are absolutely keying off when it comes to this team on first down, and they're letting that shit go. So you'd think, all right, where's the intermediate stuff? earlier on in the season, I was critical of Jaden when it came to things as though, hey, I'm so glad you took what the defense gave you, but there's something further down the field. And now what it feels like is through play calling, they don't have the take what the defense gives you routes. Everything's downfield. So Jaden's holding on the fucking football, and I'm not seeing on my television screen anybody running a slant or an intermediate thing in the middle of the field until we get into that 2-minute sort of offense, which I'm sorry, but from what I was seeing on TV, it didn't look like Dallas changed their defense. I know a lot of people thinking the 2-minute offenses, they just played prevent. They were playing pretty similar to the way they were playing the entire fucking game. It was just now you saw Jaden getting rid of the fucking football so much quicker because there were routes that were being run in the intermediate. If they're playing soft coverage, if they're playing 10 yards out, you do what so many other teams did to us. Throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also got to be said that Jaden's fine, like health-wise. You could see it today. He was able to run. So, but just killing that whole narrative now. We can officially do that. The moment he took off on 3rd and 12, you're like, he's fine. You see him throw a ball. He's fine. He's good to go. I think that's why this loss hurts as well, as we had a 100% Jaden, or at least looks like the 100% Jaden. The Jaden we had early in the season, we'd lose anyway to a really bad team. There were a couple drops. There were a couple throws that were off target. That stuff, to your point, K-Dot, lack of execution. I remember Noah Brown had a couple where it looks like the pass was broken up and then they go slow-mo and no, just hit him. Hit him. He's got to catch it. He's got to catch it. And then you go, should we have gotten a wide receiver? We talk about that as well. But yeah, execution problem makes total sense, K-Dot, from what we could see over here.
But it goes back to, and I know we're kind of the Kliff Jaden thing. Like, as far as the Kliff Kingsbury thing, where's the quick game? Where's the intermediate to help out the quarterback? You did it earlier in the season. Now it's gone. Stop with these long developing fucking plays when the offensive line is not doing a great fucking job. And Jaden's kind of seeing ghosts and wants to take off. Do something to help him out. Make it a little easier for what the fuck the reads were. We saw it work at certain points in the fucking game. I don't think Dallas was doing anything differently. I know the All-22 is going to show me something. Going to tell me exactly what happened. Now, beyond that, I've been coming on this pod. I've been telling you guys especially this last episode where we did the All-22. Jaden's injury has not been the reason the offense itself has not been moving the way it needed to move. That's why I went back even pre-injury to talk about the Cleveland game, or whatever the game it was. Cleveland, yeah, whatever the game was pre-injury, to show you what was happening when it came to the pass rush, when it came to this team. The Jaden injury absolutely stopped things as far as being able to run the ball. So what he's been able to do earlier on the season, as far as like turning a 3rd and long into a 1st down out of fucking nowhere, there were moments like that. And you even saw a couple moments like that in this game. That's not a sustainable way to do things. The other things are what's the problem. Even I saw a little bit in this game. Jaden's still not setting his feet the way he needs to set his feet. Once again, he gets a bigger runway than most because he's a rookie. And I expect these things as a rookie. We knew what we saw at the beginning of the season was pretty much very, very unlikely to be sustained throughout the rest of the season. The only problem is it shouldn't have been this game against this fucking opponent in which we saw that shit. Like, that's fucked up. Like, clearly we're regressing. And there's elements where it seems as though I've been looking at this offense all fucking season. There's so many things they haven't gotten to yet. Like, they're just starting to introduce the play action. Oh God, they still haven't even done some of the motion shit. Mm-hmm. It still feels as though there's a lot of vanilla shit being ran in this offense. And because of the lack of execution, because of Kliff Kingsbury's lack of game flow, when he sees what a defense is doing and say, all right, well, let me cue this up a little more often, we're not able to get to where we need to be. Maybe that, in the grand scheme of things, you're learning a new offensive system. You got a bunch of guys playing together for the first time. Maybe usually it does take a while. But Lord knows we saw something work in the beginning of the season. And what's hard for us to look at is they're not doing the things that worked at the beginning of the season.
By the way, some people have been asking about the rookies as well, like wanting to see more Ben Sinnott, wanting to see more Luke McCaffrey. I ended up charting out the snaps. I'll create that. I have the graphic. I'll just show it on the next episode that we do. Those are trending down. They're playing less. So it's one of those things where you may be going, okay, now we're going to integrate them more. And maybe we'll see what the snap counts are for the game that just occurred. But it has actually been a downward trend for both guys. So that was a bit surprising to me to see it be kind of consistent. But that's just a side piece about the rookies, that are at the skill positions over there. Frustrating. It's frustrating to just watch the offense not be able to execute. I'm trying to be like,
fucking let it rip, man. This is an extremely frustrating fucking loss.
Okay, fine. So then in that case, Mike Zimmer completely outcoached Kliff Kingsbury. It felt like Eric Bieniemy was calling the plays today. We didn't run nearly enough. The second drive of the game, we'll get into the decision making, but it was throw, one run, which was for 7 yards. Like, things were working when we were running. And then we were like, actually, fuck it. Well, let's just go back to throwing. We threw so much. Offensive line wasn't doing very well. So, like, help them the same way Dallas helped theirs. You have a bunch of backups and rookies on the line. What do? Run. Allow them to push. Rico Dowdle had a nice day. 19 carries, 86 yards. But they stuck with it. Yeah, you did. Shout out fucking K-Dot, Rico Dowdle.
What was the other name? Turban? They're scary motherfuckers.
Turban. That spin move is nice. But, like, getting that thoroughly out-coached, considering the situation, was like, oh, it's just Ron Rivera's team again for a week. Like, that's what it felt like. That is what it felt like, K-Dot.
I'm not going that far. Lord knows you got to do a lot to be compared to Eric Bieniemy in my mind. But I haven't quite.
Look at the pass versus run.
I'm with you. I haven't gotten there though. Look, there is an element of stick with the run because you don't know what's going to develop. But I'm telling you, even when they did try to run on first down, there were so many times where Ekeler was getting eaten up immediately that it was like, all right,
understood. But there is an idea of sticking with it anyway, right? You eat those so that later on it gets easier and easier is the point.
Sorta. So there's a wrinkle there. Yes, you should, but you need to be able to set things up in order to do it. And what you need to do in order to set things up is if you're seeing that they're queuing off of you on those first downs, as far as preventing anything from a screen standpoint and stacking the box, and you're not getting what it is you need movement-wise with the run, especially when you got a B-Rob that goes down. Ekeler, McNichols, none of those guys absorb contact the way that B-Rob does. They can fall forward for positive yardage, right?
Right.
That's where I talk about the quick game, like the quick passing game. If you put them in a situation where you're like, just a few of the drives, we have 2nd and 6s, it changes everything.
Of course.
But you got to get there. So, like,
what about game planning Terry out?
No, we got more to shit.
That's
to talk about
stuff too. Like,
Go ahead. The waiting to get Terry McLaurin is a dude in which you have to fucking feed him. You got to force it to him. And if you see a situation where he's one-on-one ever, force it his way. He's one of those guys you got to get the fucking ball in his hands. Where were the slants to fucking Terry? Just to get shit going. Just to keep the defense honest at least a little bit.
And it was Deron Bland's first game back. I know he's Deron Bland, but it's his first game back. Test him.
It's fucking ridiculous. Then when you have the third down situations, you have all these third 7 pluses that we were looking at like today.
Yep.
I know what Kliff's trying to do from what I could see, which he's all right. I need to give Jaden more options to throw. So we're going to do more empty backfield sets, or if anything, we have a running back that might do an option. He might get a chip on one side and then left out. But when you got an O-line, it's not working the way it needs to. And everyone around the league knows when it comes to Washington on third down, if they're 3rd and long, come the fuck after them. Pin your ears back and fucking go. Because we don't have enough blockers in, it's only a matter of time. And there are certain aspects with Jaden that he does feel it. He feels it a lot. Sometimes it has him traveling around the pocket in ways he's not supposed to. Or sometimes it has him holding on the football a little longer than he needs to. But they're not doing a whole lot within the confines of defense to sort of help him out. I'm telling you, the main thing that I look at when it comes to this game, and I'm looking back even a few weeks, is
feels like years. Go ahead.
The quick game, the quick game that we saw early on. How many plays did we see from Jaden Daniels early in the season where it was hut, snap, boom, bap?
Yeah.
Hut, snap, boom, bap. And it was like, and I was like, Jaden, you can hold on the football a little bit, bro. You need to do it immediately. Like, you got time. But we don't even have those anymore. Like, I don't even see them. I don't see them being ran. And like, if they're not being ran, how do you do it in a rhythm? You got to get your quarterback in a rhythm, right? So like everything is just disjointed. If you're like, all right, we got to run the ball. We got to make sure we run the ball. Oh, Ekeler, here we go. Up the gut. Shit, 2-yard loss. All right, we're at 2nd and 12. What are we going to do? We could try to run it again, but you know what? You got to kind of make it back. Jaden's got to feel something, right? Yep. Every route is fucking 15 yards down the field. Oh, shit. Jaden didn't have enough time. He rushes the throw, or he got sacked, or he has to run. And now you're just disjointed. There's no flow. There's no flow. Everything feels so disjointed. And then you see the offense feels messy. Like there are so many times. How many times early on in the season where you see the no huddle and they look like they were running with a purpose because they knew what they were going to do. And now it feels like I'm yelling at the TV, go fuckers, go. No, and you even see certain, what was it before the half when Jaden scrambled like 3 times in a row?
Oh, out of bounds. All 3 times. Yeah.
And it looked like he wanted to rip Kliff's head off. When I saw the camera, he was pissed. And I'm looking at that. I'm like, what? I can't wait to look at the all-20 score.
Yeah, we'll definitely go through that because, and I could understand him wanting to rip Kliff's head off because not only was it 3 scrambles out of bounds, is the exact same spot, which means it was basically a similar concept over and over and over again. And Dallas was like, we've already shown you we can stop that. Like it. That's what I mean by being thoroughly outcoached. Again, by a defense that was absolutely reeling. So disappointing from that perspective, right? Yeah, like hugely pissed off about it because this was we looked at it. We were like, okay, cool. This is Dallas. I understand it's a divisional game, rivalry game, but they're coming to you. They are in absolute mess right now. They don't even want to tackle. So my thinking is if Brian Robinson goes down, it shouldn't change the game plan. If you are worried about Austin Ekeler, which by the way, now it's got to be said, 2nd concussion of the year, and he was down for a while and he wasn't moving for a little bit there. You questioned if he's even coming back this season.
Ekeler left LA. The reason he left LA was saying Jim Harbaugh was coming to town.
Yeah,
like, we're going to give you 40. Yeah, and he's like, I don't want to do that.
Right. So then Jeremy McNichols can be that natural replacement and just give him some run. I don't see why you can't have faith in him when he's produced in the past. And if it's not working, fine. But I don't see that in the play-by-play. I didn't see that in the game. It was just B-Rob's out. I guess we're just throwing. Like we are such a different team without Brian Robinson mentally for Kliff or mentally for DQ, whomever it may be. We look totally different just from a play calling standpoint when Brian Robinson's not available.
It feels like if I were to describe the offense or Kliff Kingsbury's playbook is like, all right, you have a playbook that's A through Z, right? You have pages A through Z. It felt like at the beginning of the season, we were running pages A through D, like sticking with pages A through D. Early on. And then like occasionally you add another letter, to it. In the last few weeks, it feels like we've kind of scrapped the pages A through D and are now just working on another section of the playbook. Like it was something that we introduced and now we're kind of forgetting the bread and butter of what it is that got us to this point that we were at this point in the playbook. Yeah. I thought what was going to end up happening was they're just going to add more wrinkles to what we've seen that is working. And then we'd go from there.
You add to it. You don't change it, but it feels like it's changing.
It feels as though he's all right. So here's what I don't know because I'm not in the room.
Sure.
I feel as though Kliff's trying to get Jaden in a rhythm. He's just going in a way that I wouldn't go about it, and it's clearly not working. Mm-hmm. So, like, my thought is that we need to boom back plays, right? We need that. It's like get him in a flow. Just get him in a flow. Just get the offense kind of moving. And I think what they were trying to do was say we should be able to hit the big play against Dallas, and maybe the big play will get these guys in the mind frame that they need to be. And I think that he got so hell-bent on getting the big play done. And I think Jaden was in that same mind frame too. I'm sure when I look at the all-22, there's probably some intermediate routes that Jaden gave up on because he was looking for the home run too. Probably. I think that we talk about, like, I've given a lot of the offensive coordinator shit. I call Brian Dable an asshole, right? Like there are a lot of offensive coordinators that get in their own way because they're trying to be too clever or because they're looking for the home run. And the ones that do the best job are the ones that realize consistency is king. There is a take. Look, man, I just wanted to see Jaden add to the taking what the defense gave you. I didn't want that to be eliminated. It was too crucial. Like,
yeah, K-Dot, something I'd love for you to tell us when we do the all 22 review, are people winning one-on-one? I'm wondering if like the line is getting in this game in particular, because they did a good job against the run. Dallas did. Like if they're able to stack a box enough and just go, okay, we're going to see these guys one-on-one. Butler was on Brown like the whole game and like was winning. Like Brown made some plays. Noah Brown did make some plays, but also I'm still the couple drops stick in my head. Those were third down drops. Can't have them.
Couple Jaden wasn't on target. Execution.
Yep. Missed one to Ertz.
Execution is the king of what it is that's been happening in the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, they need to get back on track, man. Any
how do you do? That's the thing. How do you get an offense that's not clearly working to get back on track? I have what I think my philosophy is, which is like they need to move faster and they need to do things that are quick. I think it's a pretty simple idea to know that if a defensive back is playing 10 yards off the fucking line of scrimmage, that you have room for something quick. And maybe that's something that they call audible at the line. Maybe that's something that Terry and Jaden kind of know together. Also, Terry, I need you to start getting angry, buddy. I need you to be a bit of a diva. Like, I need you to start telling yourself. I know, but I need you to be like, hey, motherfuckers, like, I'm here.
I'm that dude.
I'm here. I need to get me involved.
5 catches, 102 yards and a touchdown.
Wow.
But that was before that play. 4 catches, right? You subtract 86. 4 catches, 16 yards with 30 seconds left.
And that play.
Wow.
It was like we watched a football game and then something happened at the end. Like we were watching a really shitty football game and then just chaos. Like chaos incarnate just started.
I mean, but that play was, and shout out Joe Davis on the call there too. Lightning strikes twice in Washington. They were just talking about the Hail Mary. They need something like that. And boom, just like that.
Terry,
I mean,
the speed didn't go anywhere, buddy. Sorry, anybody was doing those comparisons, but also
Jaden's first touchdown that was caught and then ran into the end zone. Go ahead, sorry.
But also Dallas, one of the worst defenses. Like, how the fuck did you do that? Like that's Hail Mary level, like Tariq Stevenson. Like the fuck you do?
That was borderline worse, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that was. I think it was, right?
Worse.
We had to go 86 yards, no timeouts, right? And they gave it up in one play.
I saw that one for the shit at the end. That should have been the thing that everybody remembered. Like I was ready to ream this fucking offense regardless of the outcome of this game.
Same here, by the way.
And if we want, it was always going to be like a huge disappointment. Me and you had the audacity to talk about maybe the bets won't hit because we'll be pulling our starters.
Yeah, we did.
Had the audacity.
Hand up, left hand up. Yeah,
are you fucking kidding me? Like on that? What the fuck? Dude, everybody needs to look in the mirror. And this is where it comes down to it's a slight pivot, I guess, but there's a reason I wanted Dan Quinn and Kliff Kingsbury here in the building. And it was because of the coaching staff and the way that they communicate was supposed to be, in which you had guys that came prepared to play, and you had guys that would be prepared to do what it is they need to do. This is an indictment on the coaching staff, man. Like the lack of execution is like, what are you doing to hold people accountable?
Oh,
I think we can say that we've gone past our ceiling as far as talent. So maybe that's just it.
I was thinking
about where we're at.
Yeah.
And it's a very distinct possibility. I mean, every time that we come up against a better team, we lose. Now in this particular case, we came up against a much worse team and we look just as bad, if not worse than them. Even though we are clearly a better team than them. So it's just, I think that it's one of those things where like you start looking at the rest of the season. I think I might be hoping for more losses than wins.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not quite there just yet, but I mean, it does make you reevaluate looking at the schedule, right? So now you look at Tennessee, who just beat Houston. They're our next opponent. I don't know. I earlier saw that as like, okay, Will Levis, we should be able to turn him over. We should be fine. Now it's an unknown. Got to see how these guys respond. 3 losses in a row. If it's one game, you can go, okay, maybe it was a personnel thing. We just were not better than these guys. 2 games, same deal, because it was Philadelphia, short week, fine, whatever. This game, you have to point at coaching. You just do in this spot.
Yeah, I'm pointing at coaching just because it feels like because this is my second choice handpicked team, like as far as the guy, it feels personal.
Sure, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But there is I'm disappointed at everybody. I'm disappointed at everybody as far as lack of execution on offense, period. And we can move on to special teams and other things because there's a lot of motherfuckers that deserve to, if it's what do they call it, Tell the Truth Monday?
Yeah.
There should be some tears tomorrow.
Yeah, there should be some truths for
But
sure.
hey,
So let's touch on special teams because there's the kicker. So we'll talk about him and then we'll talk about coaching decisions as well. Austin Seibert had a tough day, to put it very mildly.
Had a bad day.
A horrible day. Absolutely horrible day. He was tried out for a 4th and 2. We'll talk about the 4th and 2. 51-yarder. He hits a low knuckler. It's not blocked. It's just it's a low knuckler. Playing soccer, I know exactly how to hit that. And as soon as I saw him hit it, I was like, I saw the replay and I was like, I already know what he did. And I saw it. It was just like that. That to me tells me you don't believe in your own leg strength. So we're going to get to that in a moment, but that's important. So he misses that and he misses 2 extra points in the exact same spot. So he got in his own head. And the last one in particular, egregious miss because we had just scored and then we try and tie the game. Another coaching discussion we'll talk about. Should we have gone for 2? K-Dot also didn't kick it out of the end zone. Apparently that was the plan. Seibert had a rough day. What are you doing there? What are your thoughts there?
Number one, I'll start at the last part. He can't kick it out of the end.
Well, that's part of the equation with him.
Right. Dan Quinn was asked
He's
about
like,
it.
it's harder than you think.
Right.
I'm like, I see 30 other kickers do it.
They sacrificed distance or leg strength for accuracy. They absolutely did. When it comes to Seibert itself, this particular game, yes, absolutely. You can see there's a lack of confidence there, but also there was a lot of weird shit happening between the snap exchange and the placement of the ball. It just feels as though those guys were just completely out of sync, which fits for what the entire kind of team looked like at certain points, which is fucking out of sync. Yeah, rough day, man. And especially rough day after like Zane Gonzalez started looking pretty good to us. Like it's just like we were all for it, but now it sort of comes back. I think what today look, we've all had PTSD being fans of this fucking team. And I think we've all been holding on to the hope that, hey, it's a new day, something new's happening. And after the last few weeks, and especially after what happened today, it very much feels like, yeah, this is just the same thing again. Like we got our hopes up for no good reason. Yeah. But I think what it comes down to is that this is the reason I kept saying stay medium, is that we were far outdoing what it is we were supposed to do with guys that probably shouldn't have got us anywhere close to where we're at right now, including a guy like Austin Seibert, which is my big roundabout way of doing this. Seibert is a journeyman fucking kicker that couldn't make it on another team. And he comes in here, he's fucking doing it up, fucking like, oh shit, we got our guy.
7 for
then
7
he gets
game
hurt.
1.
Then he gets hurt. He comes back. It's gone. And you're like, that's why you're a journeyman fucking kicker and you can't get a job. Got it. Okay. Noah Brown. That's why Houston was fine with giving you up even though they had the injuries. Okay. Zacchaeus. That's why Philadelphia didn't fucking need you anymore. Like, not a knock on them as far as like personal, but it's like
over the course of the season, you end up seeing the reasons that they were moved on from. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. This is I go back to like what it is like Coach would tell us, or some other people tell us, like, dude, you guys are like a C-level talent team, maybe D. Like it's like you see games like this, you're like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, and my thing, K-Dot, is it's not Seibert has had a good year. If you look at his numbers, he's had a good year, but it's the misses and the way he's missed them that really worries me. It's right. So like the knuckler that occurred in this game, I believe it was Baltimore. Remember when he just duffed the kick? Mm-hmm. Like you don't see that. And it just, so like the mechanics are not consistent. And then for him to miss both extra points in the same spot, right? Just means that like that is worrying to me. And he can't kick it out of the end zone. Like I have a very, very difficult time trusting him, considering those things, especially from distance. And so that gets to coaching too. If you most certainly know it now, if you didn't before. But if you have the option between a long field goal and going for it on even a 4th and 5, you probably pick the 4th and 5 and go, because the probabilities are going to be similar. And so on that, K-Dot, would you like to move over to the coaching decisions? You want to keep talking special teams?
No, we can move.
Let's talk about the coaches.
Just quick. The run back by
oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
the myth. Izzo, I know Izzo's going to be getting on those dudes' ass. Like, it's he baited the fuck out of y'all on that one. Y'all bit that shit straight up. Like, I get the plan. You want to kind of squib it or whatever they call it. And
call it dirty kick is what they call
dirty. Okay. Yeah, he ain't y'all motherfuckers stop because he was getting pissed. You know, why won't they kick to me? He's like, all right, I got you, motherfuckers. So shout out to him. But stop. Do not ever turn the Jets off if you're running down that fucking field on a fucking kick return, man. Stop. You got it. Finish.
But also a quick shout out to Larry is Quan Martin for blocking the field goal. And I think it affected Brandon Aubrey's next field goal because he ended up hitting it away from where the block was occurring because they broke through again. So just
I was ready to give Izzo like coach or player of the game.
I was ready to. At halftime, I was like, hey, at least special teams is on it. And then the rest of the game happens.
In my notes, it's like all caps. And I think this was like in the third quarter. Let's go special team. Asterisk next to Cyber. It's just like, and then it was like, oh, can't give Larry all that many props.
And then you can't, which is really unfortunate because I think early on, Larry was coaching a hell of a game. Seriously. I mean, it was incredible.
Onside kick return for a touchdown.
Which, by the way, was so dumb that they returned that.
But I get it.
I get it. Yeah, exactly. I get it. Like, it's your moment. Go for it. But like, you gave us life. You
see McCarthy and everybody on the sidelines, like they basically the same reaction. Like, all right, we get it, but goddamn, man.
Well, also because like we seem to have the 9 lives of a cat, right? So like, if you give us the ball, like at Northwest Stadium with Jaden, like it's like, well, maybe we get that done.
It kind of felt like that was going to happen. Like, and I don't want to be that team.
No. I mean, I don't necessarily want to be that team. It's kind of cool that we can feel that way with a degree of justification.
And it all went away today.
Wow. Yeah. So, well, not all of it. So, Siebert's still in the building. So, coaching decisions.
Yeah.
We block the field goal. We then make a field goal. They miss a field goal. Okay. 1st and 10. By the way, field position was marvelous all game for us. It's another point on the offense. Man. Here's how it went. 1st and 10. Jaden Daniels runs for 7 yards. Okay. And B-Rob's back in the game. 2nd and 3. Brian Robinson, 7 yards. Okay. Up the middle. 1st and 10. De'Ami Brown, left end, 14 yards. Okay. So we're now 1st and 10 to the Dallas 40. Brian Robinson runs for 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Brian Robinson runs for 2 yards. 3rd and 2. Jaden Daniels incomplete to Noah Brown. That was the one where Noah Brown should have caught it. Okay. 4th and 2, based on everything we've seen in that range. Even when we got to 3rd and 2, by the way, I was like, oh, cool, 4 down territory. Said that before we even ran the 3rd down play. I was like, cool, 4 down territory. Out trots Austin Seibert. What did you make of the decision?
What'd you think I made of the fucking decision?
Oh, you're cursing the TV out because I was like, are you kidding me? Like after everything, I was like, K-Dot said, this is who we want to be. So why are we trotting him out? And then they said 51-yarder. And I was like, 51-yarder or 2 yards when we've been so good on 4th down all year? And we need to knock these guys out early, like we talked about. A field goal doesn't do that. Like, for me, I thought it was objectively dumb.
It was a 51-yarder, right?
It was a 51-yarder.
Yeah.
She ends up
and you don't, and because you have a
the leg isn't, yeah, exactly. So you put all those things together and you're just like, this is just dumb.
Yeah. My fundamental thing is I think it spits in the face of what we say we want the identity of the team to be. To me, it's mixed messaging. And that's been my biggest criticism of Dan Quinn and the coaching staff this entire season. I don't like the mixed messaging. I want us to be the team that goes for it. It felt like at a certain part of the season, especially early on, we were the team that fucking went for it. And then it just it feels as though you know what it feels like? It feels as though the confidence level the offense had went out the windows alongside the coaching staff. Like it feels as though offensively we're not playing confidently. Like that's why it looks so disjointed. And those moments where things start happening, take advantage of it. Fucking go, do it. Like you gotta will this shit into being, right? Like I know that last comment mailbag, Lil Zab, what the fuck his name is? He gave me shit because I said go for it 100 times out of 100.
Yeah.
I don't mean that, period. I mean, basically my philosophy with this team, if it's 4th and 3 or shorter from our 40 through the end zone, unless you have some wonky stuff when it comes to scoring or like you're up big or whatever, I'm going for it 100% of the time. I'm just going for it. I want the team to know this is what we're fucking doing. I want the team to know so that everybody's locked in the mindset that this is something we have to execute and to have the attitude to go out there and fucking execute it. And not what I feel as though it's happening all the fucking time with us is, all right, are we doing hurry up? At least like some of the guys on offense feel like we're doing hurry up. I think some of the other guys, I'm not sure if we're doing hurry up. Oh, Jaden, hey, Kliff, can you get the plays in? Oh, Kliff doesn't know we're doing hurry up right now. Like Kliff doesn't know we're kind of moving into it.
It's disjointed.
Dan's screaming like go. Like, so hold on, what? Who's doing what? And what am I supposed to do? Like, well, is he gonna kick it? Like, I ain't worried about it. Like, we can kick it? No, fucking go. Stop this bullshit. Be the team. You talk about this attitude that we're supposed to have. I take it. I'm still sad even in the last game. I would have fucking went for it. Even if we lost it. I like that mentality in the first year of an install of a new regime. It's changing the culture. And what I feel as though it's happening is that we started looking at the schedule and we start looking at our standings and we're trying to win now and being conservative in the way that we win now instead of just doing what we were doing at the beginning of the season. House money, baby. Let's fucking go.
I agree with that. Long term, this is the team we want to be, especially when you're running the ball and that is your identity, which is why I'm like, wait, I don't know anymore. Right? Because just seeing how the game was called, you have to go for it there. You have to, especially because you know that on the other side of 2 yards is a 1st and 10. And if you go up 10-0 on Dallas, you're going to be hard pressed to convince me the game's not over. At 10-0, they're on the road. They have to now play a certain style. They probably abandon running to help their offensive line out. Everything changes. Instead, you trotted this kicker out for a 51-yarder. This is before he missed all the kicks, but you already know he doesn't have a strong leg. So why are you doing that? You already know that. So, I mean, he had mentioned in the postgame that, they knew about a certain line that they had with their kicking and stuff like that. Fuck that. 4th and 2. It's who you are. Go for it. Go for it. You're 15 of 16 on the year on 4th down. We're asking for 2 yards. I could tell when we had a 3rd and 2, I was like, 4 down territory. We could all tell because that's what you trained us to believe, that we're that team. And we blew that. I think we absolutely blew that.
Anybody in the comment mailbag, anybody listening right now, he would have said differently if we did such. I've been consistent this entire season, even on field goals we've made. Fucking go. Like, I think I'm the only person. I feel like at this point, I'm the only person saying, I still don't give a fuck about this year. I care about what this is.
No, that's true. I think you probably are the only one.
Of the fucking team. Like, I've been saying this over and over again. I care about what this means for us next year, in 2 years from now, in 3 years from now. We got a bunch of C-list players. We got a ton of salary cap space. Marshawn Lattimore's still fucking chilling somewhere. Like, we aren't where we need to be, and we've far exceeded that. Cool. Great. You know what you do now? Establish who you are.
I think this week you're going to see a few more fans, not many more, but a few more come back towards that of like, hey, this is year 1 of the recalibration, a reminder of that. And let's continue to use this year to assess what we have, what we need. And we're beginning to figure that out with each and every game. We could use another wide receiver, for example, that would help on the outside. Like, you're beginning to see those things. So that's important. Go ahead, K-Dot, before we go to the final coaching decision.
Let's go to the final coach decision.
Okay, sounds good. So 86-yard touchdown to Terry McLaurin. Place is going bonkers. 27-26. Dan Quinn's running. Puts that one up. K-Dot, what did you want to do there?
What do you think I wanted to do, Amit?
Well, I'm surprised we actually differed here. But you wanted to go for 2, I believe.
I gotta keep explaining this to you guys. Like, let me break it down.
I'll explain
right?
my rationale after this, because I was fine with going for 1. I wanted to go for 1.
I understand the rationale. I don't care about what is the right thing to do. I care about the attitude of the fucking team. Go for it. Especially after the fucking chaos that we had just seen for the last how many minutes of that fucking game. End it. No, this, all bets are off at this point, all right? This is you sitting down at the blackjack table and the fucking dealer's head exploded. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? We're going to sit down and keep playing? No, get me the fuck out of here. Let me cash this bitch out and get the fuck out of here. There's some crazy shit happening. End it.
I thoroughly appreciate you putting me so clearly in your mindset. I think you did a great job of that. So I appreciate that. You're like, this is a hellhole. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if I'm on a ship. I have no idea what's happening, but I think it's wrecked, and I think we need to get the fuck out of here. So we go for 2 and we get out. I get that. I think going for 1 was fine because, 1, it's an extra point. Just make it. That's 1. 2, it is, okay? 2, you are the better team. You're at home. More time favors you, not them. Right. So I'm with that. You're at home. 3, and this is the part I haven't heard anybody else talk about, but I've seen a struggle with. After big plays, we typically call a timeout because it takes us time to get to where we need to. And we have a 40-second clock. We have to go 86 yards. We have no timeouts. We need to call a play, and we need that to work perfectly, right? To get it off in time, which I don't think happens. I think that there's chaos, and I think that something occurs over there. So I had no problem with the standard. Go for 1. We don't need to call anything because all of a sudden Kliff needs to go, oh, fuck, I need to think of something. Like, hey, we're going for 2. Kliff, you ready? Like, that was not discussed. If it were like a 20-yard touchdown, you're already there. 86 yards, no timeouts, you're probably taking that from the 7. That's probably a delay a game. So I just wanted to, I had not seen that anywhere, but that is very real when it comes to this team, that we take timeouts after big plays because we aren't quite there. We've talked about the communication between Kliff and Jaden, between Dan Quinn, Kliff, whomever. We've had issues with that. So now we're suddenly expected to do it? I don't know about that.
Okay. I'm going to unpack a few things with that.
Sure.
Number 1, as far as I can understand the aspect of, hey, we're probably looking to delay a game if they try to do something right there. But that to me is an issue with this team constantly getting in these situations where they celebrate and shit. The game ain't fucking over, guys. It ain't over. I know what you just saw was batshit crazy. I get it. We just saw a few weeks ago Tyreek Stevenson not having his fucking head in the game and costing them shit. Every time they scored, I'll tell you this. Every time we scored in this game, anytime I saw anybody do anything other than hand the ball back to the referee, I yelled at the TV. I'm like, you are in a close game against the Dallas Cowboys. Are you fucking kidding me? We are in a close game against the Dallas fucking Cowboys. There is nothing to celebrate until we put our foot on their fucking throat. That's the mentality. This is what I'm talking about with what they do when they plaster all these fucking wallpapers and Ashburn and shit. Kill them. Kill your fucking enemy. Kill these sons of bitches. There needs to be an understanding and appreciation for we don't fucking stop. We are a machine. We might have fun while we're doing it, but we're a fucking machine. The job ain't done until the fucking job's done. If you're up by 3 scores, you want to fucking you want to celebrate, you want to fucking work on something, do your thing. That's all part of it. If you want to stop me from celebrating, stop me, motherfucker. That's the thing. But if I'm still in a close fucking game, I ain't not celebrating the goddamn thing. That to me is when it comes to the mentality. The same reason I say go for the shit. I keep going back to Dan Campbell, and I know people probably sick and tired of me talking about Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell that first season had to sit at a press conference and get asked constantly, why'd you guys go for it there? It was like the analysts, everything did not say go for it. Why'd you go for it? You remember what Dan Campbell's answers usually were?
No, I don't. It's who we want to be. It's the identity.
Year 2. Any other question to Dan Campbell about that shit? Anybody second guessing, even if they don't make it? No. It's the identity of the team. And when you see that offense, you see that coaching staff, right? That offense, they got a swagger.
But
there's a swagger.
I agree with you. But here's the thing. For Dan Campbell, there's a Brandon Staley who was going for it on 4th down, and then he switched up. We see that today with Dan Quinn. He switched up on the 4th and 2, for example. So I don't know that I know you want to be the Dan Campbell Commanders, but we're going to be the Dan Quinn Commanders, and I don't know that it looks exactly like that. I think it looks similar.
No, that's not my point. My point is that there's mixed messaging. You can be the analytical team. You be the analytical team if you want to. My thing is, if you are going to plaster what you plaster on the walls at Ashburn, if you're going to talk about the mentality that this team is supposed to have, that comes with an attitude. And to me, that attitude is, in those situations, we will end you. That's what we do.
Okay. I'm understanding. I understand your interpretation of it.
It's a culture install. That to me is, and it's more important. It's more, to me, that's more important than any win this season. Win this season.
I agree. And I think that the culture is being set, but I don't know that it is that culture when it comes to the 4th downs. I don't know. Maybe.
At the beginning of the season, we were the team that were 100% on 4th down. Even in situations where it was just kind of like, you saw that like they didn't even have a conversation about it. Jaden was like, yeah, let's go.
Right.
Let's fucking go. Even in a situation where it was kind of even a little dicey, or it was like, oh, this is a little gamble. It feels to me that the team has foregone that particular mentality.
I agree.
For one that says, we need to be smart about this. We need to be conservative when we need to be conservative. We need to be aggressive when we need to be aggressive. We need to kind of pick our battles and pick and choose whatever. It might be the smart thing to do to get you a win any given point in time. That's not what I care about in year 1 with a team that's going to look extremely different next year and the following year because of all the salary cap space and all the fucking draft picks and us knowing that there's talent deficiency. I care about installing a culture here in Washington that says we are bad motherfuckers. I'm gonna do hard shit, right? We're gonna do hard. What is it? We're gonna do hard shit with good people.
With good people. Yeah.
That's what I want. To me, it's about that. It's about like the Steelers mentality. It's about the Ravens mentality. It's about what the Lions have built in short time in Detroit because they were a fucking laughingstock for decades.
I agree. So then let's summarize with this, and then we'll go to the comment mailbag. Do you feel we've lost that identity, or are not installing it properly?
I feel as though we've hit speed bumps. We've hit. You know, I go as far as to say we've hit a wall. I'm not gonna call it a brick wall, but we hit a wall. I think we can get through this, but I think what it has to happen is there needs to be a come to Jesus meeting when it comes to the players, when it comes to everybody. There's too much, to me, mixed messaging. That's just me. Look, come in the comment mailbag. Tell me if I'm fucking wrong. Whatever.
No, I'm in agreement with you there. Agreement with you there.
But to me, it's like, it's one of those things where, like, I say this year, and that's why I keep going back to, is you're playing with house money.
And I think that's what we saw early on, is that it was like, it's new, it's exciting, it's fun. We'll do whatever we want to. And then what I'm guessing occurred, K-Dot, is they started feeling the expectations.
Right.
And that changed things.
And I don't want that. It's
that's
like,
fair.
You stop. Like, what do we keep saying? We don't
For what
care
it's worth,
about
I don't want that either. Okay.
Right.
I don't want that either. But I think that's what's happened. That's all.
I want a situation where it's not, there's nobody second guessing anything. It's like, yeah, this is what we're doing. We're going for it. Like, this is who we are. And I that's what I want to see this team become, because that to me is who Dan Quinn is. That to me is who Joe Witt is. You've heard of Joe Witt fucking press conference?
Oh yeah.
You think if it was up to Joe Witt, he goes for it?
Oh, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want.
Oh, and the defense has gotten better.
Right. So like, that's what I want. And this is kind of the trajectory. We thought the defense would probably get better over the course of the season. The offense, we weren't entirely sure, right? This to me is a win. The defense is clearly getting better. The only thing that's embarrassing is that you had a team as bad as Dallas was, and we lost to them. That's fucking ridiculous. We're better than that. Like that to me is shameful. But to me, the extra shame to it is like losing to that team in any sort of conservative fashion. I don't like that because it feels as though
that we weren't even true to ourselves. We didn't even. It wasn't
safe
us
about it, right?
Yeah,
It was like, man, fuck you guys. That's what I want.
That's fair. You want to play Nikki or no?
Nah, fuck it, man. Let's good.
All right, straight to the comment mailbag we go. Appreciate the comments as always. We begin with Coach. 29-20 Washington. I was 21-20 Washington before I saw the updated inactive lists. Brian Robinson, player of the game, taking the points on a 10.5 spread is just too damn tempting. Is Jaden Tua 2.0? So many questions. We'll know a ton more in 2 weeks. See you all in week 16. # share this shit. And so just a heads up, this will end up being the most accurate prediction in this comment mailbag. K-Dot, over to you. Your reaction to that.
No, I don't think Jaden's Tua 2.0. I don't like Tua being a system quarterback for the thing that they're doing. I'm saying that like at least Miami's fucking offense is proven. It's proven in Houston. It's proven in San Francisco. We're still trying to figure out what the fuck it is we are. Yeah, when you looked at this reminded me of something because we basically said the defense did fine, but there is something to add as far as the defense goes because what Coach said as far as looking at an active report, there is no reason you guys shouldn't have been able to generate more fucking pass rush with your front four against that beat up fucking offensive line. That is a failure. That's a fucking failure.
No,
all right. 100%. Like the fact that Cooper Rush got to do whatever he wanted to do is ridiculous. I get it. You guys are not cost us the game, but once again, when is the defensive line going to be special?
Yeah, and this is the game to do it. This is the game to do it, and they didn't. We go to Just Be 327. Shout out. Great show, guys. Just wanted to say the last 2 games playing the Steelers and Eagles, who are top tier defenses, they both did what good defensive teams do. Make you one-dimensional and double Terry. Kliff Kingsbury has to adjust. Luckily, the last few games we play, the teams don't have that ability. So relax, people. Jaden is human, and all will be fine. We did, of course, lose this game. So not all is fine in that respect. But like K-Dot said, it's year 1. We're learning. We're installing the culture, hopefully, to what we want it to be. And that's what this season is about. K-Dot, your reaction.
Once again, the install of the culture to me is becoming sort of a failure, which is what's scaring me long term. So like there's no part of me that is okay with our team looking the way it has over the course of the season, losing to that team at home. Yeah. Fuck that noise. That is inexcusable. Nothing's okay about it. Nothing's okay about that. But that being said, where we end up at the end of the season, regardless of whatever, right? If we overachieved like a motherfucker at the beginning of the season. We did. If we underachieve is that acceptable? No. But if you're looking at the end of the season, like if all things kind of equal out, like if I'm looking at the record at the end of the season, look, we were looking at like, hey, we might lose 2, but we're definitely not going to go 500 the rest of the way. I don't know now.
Right. That's honestly because I don't know what to expect anymore. That's the thing from coaching. I don't know what to expect, and we need the execution to be better. I will say this. It's nice to have Jaden looking healthy again. I thought he played fine. Could be better. Certainly could have been worse as well. Thought he was fine. We go over to Vindo. Shout out Vindo. Yeah. 21-20 is disrespectful to this franchise. We win at least by 14. I'm saying 42-10. Player of the game, Dante Fowler Jr. There's one more. We'll package it. Mr. Payne goes, salute my guys. Heated rivalry this weekend. We should win. If we don't, I will go ham on the next show. Mr. Payne, we're looking forward to seeing that because you have every right to be. Get out your reaction to those 2 comments. The 42-10 prediction, along with the 21-20 being disrespectful, and Mr. Payne going ham this coming comment mailbag.
I'm only thinking about ham right now. You ever had Southern ham by Smithfield?
I mean, we're gonna
salted cured ham.
We're at that Thanksgiving season.
You put it on a biscuit. It's good breakfast.
I haven't done that.
Oh, so good. I used to do it every time I used to go down to Smithfield, visit my ex-wife's grandmother. And you know how it used to end every time I was there? It'd be her old grandmother telling her to leave the room, and she'd hold my hand in the kitchen, trying to convince me she wasn't a racist old white lady. She'd cry every time, and there would be little sliders with the Smithfield Southern ham.
Oh, beautiful. We go to Earl. Did you have anything else for those two comments, or are we just concluding with the ham? Okay,
I don't want to look. Everybody made your predictions. We made ours. We don't need to wallow in it. We know what happened.
So this Earl Bruce goes, is it Snoochie Boochies? Do you know what this is?
Fuck yeah. Snoochie Boochies.
What's that?
You're not a Kevin Smith, like Harold, not Harold and Kumar. What the fuck am I talking about? Silent Jay and Silent Mob?
No.
Snoochie Boochies. You're not. Oh wow.
No. Snoochie Boochies, boys, is how it starts. This year has been a very pleasant surprise. I'm looking forward to a winning season for the first time in years. After the next two games, I expect a 9-4 record, and we'll see how the rest unfold. That said, I'm really looking forward to what Chef Peters cooks up in free agency, Chef P, and the draft. What do y'all think are our top 4 needs for next year? This is the question. Top 4, K-Dot.
Shit. After this game,
I know.
Offensive line somewhere. I don't know, just bodies. I'm like no order. Offensive line bodies. We need a pure wide receiver number 2. Or number 1. Put Terry at fucking number 2, something like that. And I think if they just start at Senate, tight end's fine. Maybe a running back. Like at this point, I can't really.
Might be McNichols next week. Just McNichols. Revenge spot against the Titans.
And it's somebody special on defense, specifically in the defensive backfield. That's what I'd like to see. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see one of those. My boo-boo kitty fuck.
So I think for me, offensive line for sure needs improvement. We even said entering the season, average is going to be just fine. And it had been, and it's really been falling apart the last 2-3 weeks here against good pass rushers. K-Dot had mentioned that. I think, and we have an interesting point in the draft, depending on where the rest of our season goes. A lot of offensive players tend to go early these days. So you could end up in a situation where you're getting a top 3-4 defensive player in the draft. If there's a really good edge rusher, man, that would make a huge difference. So for me, I think somebody like that on the edge that can make a difference. You've got Dan Quinn's experience with Micah Parsons, for example. Same with Joe Witt. Like that kind of talent, if somehow available, depending on where we're drafting. Yeah, I think that's where I would go with my first round pick, honestly.
We need somebody special on the defense. We need somebody that can really just disrupt the game.
Because I like the linebackers we have. I like Sanders still. I would assume Lattimore is good, right? And so if I have that foundation, give me someone on the line. Give me someone on the edge that can really demand a double team, for example, or work through it anyway. I think that is something I would really be interested in. Because I like the D tackles. Johnny Newton jumped offside again today, by the way. But I believe in his future. I like Deron Payne. So that's what I would do. And a wide receiver too would be on my wish list as well. And then, if that's a fourth one, then corner. Those would be mine.
If I want to be kind, I could say that this team really needs a full bye week. And maybe that we just didn't see the best of them this week. If I'm being mean about it, I'd say that this performance against these particular Dallas Cowboys has me rethinking everyone, including the defense, especially the one position in which we thought might have been a strength was the interior of the defensive line. How the fuck those guys?
They got manhandled.
What are we doing? What happened? And I can't say, oh, it wasn't until the fourth quarter. I didn't see pressure the entire game. The only time I ever saw anything was and I get it. Sometimes they clog up the lanes. Let Louvu and Wagner get something done.
But that didn't happen. Somebody. Yeah. And go beat somebody yourself. You could do that. You're allowed to. Little impact from them today. Big Papa Grizzly goes, Jerry Jones out here honking horns like a soccer mom in traffic. It's a great line there. Appreciate that, Big Papa. We have a couple from Jess Santo. And this is now after the game. It's happened.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So there are a couple here. One is short, one is longer. We'll begin with the longer one. Where to begin? This game should have been Commanders 20, Cowbitches 0 at the half. Dallas completely shit their pants in the first half. First came the horrible tackle that led to B-Rob being injured. The receivers dropped way too many tight window passes. The O-line was giving up way too much pressure, and Kingsbury didn't stick with the run game. Then came the second half defensive collapse. The defense and special teams were fantastic in the first half, except for the Cyborg, who still seems injured. The defense stopped getting pressure and had a few big plays put up on them. Then came the unexplainable kick return. There were literally 4 guys there when he muffed it. We deserved to lose this game. It should have been a complete ass whooping. Game balls to Luvu, Daniels, Chin, and Sanderstill. The Brown Bros redeemed themselves in the second half. Daniels just threw the 86-yard bomb to Terry, typing this, and Cyborg missed the extra point. Why didn't they go for 2? Fuck my life. Fuck overtime. They could have easily punched it in with Daniels. How fucking embarrassing. I'm sick to my stomach. They just returned the onside kick. This is horrible. Legitimately typing as all this is occurring. Share this shit. K-Dot, your reaction to that comment from Jess?
Sort of react the same way. Yeah, shout out to some of the guys on defense. Luvu had a hell of a game. Was it 3 pass deflections?
Yeah, in the first half alone.
It's fucking dope, man. Yeah, I will. The amount of emotions, because after hearing that and now looking at the couch where I was sitting to watch this fucking game, so like flashing back to me, is the when Terry took it, I hurt myself again, tripping over the ottoman as I was screaming at the TV.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember there was a part of me that said, we don't deserve this one. I don't want to win this one. Like I did, like I thought look, it's the cow bitches, and I don't want to hear any of their fucking fans gloating like we're gonna have to hear for the next fucking week. Also, a lot of people watched this particular game because it was the main game going across the country a lot. So yeah, be prepared for a bunch of shit. Especially be prepared for the conversation which Bo Nix just surpassed Jaden Daniels as far as offensive rookie.
There's a lot of recency bias, but also to a degree deserved.
Just be prepared for it all. So like that part of it's going to be rough, but we did not deserve to win this game.
Agreed. We did not deserve to win. My very first thought once Terry turned the corner, I was like, he's scoring. And so, of course, going crazy, my very next thought, because I wasn't thinking 2.
Right.
I was thinking, you better make this fucking extra point. It wasn't even like, oh, we're going to overtime. It was, I'm worried about the extra point, but you have to hit it. And it didn't.
Yeah, see, that's where I was at. I was like, look, at this point, you haven't deserved to win. So go for 2 and either win the shit or let's go home.
That oddly makes more sense to me than some of the other rationale. Like, I had heard your other rationale and agreed with it to an extent, but that actually made even more sense. Where it was like, you know what? We don't even fucking deserve to be here. So let's just get out. And if we win, wow. If we lose, we fucking deserved it. I kind of vibe with that. We go over to maybe I'm in the fields right now. Jesse Anto then writes after, then Ekeler gets injured. Remember, all this is happening. So like Ekeler gets injured right after that. Prayers up for him and B-Rob. I never thought this would turn into a Browns versus Steelers scenario like last Thursday. A number of upsets. I mean, even the Titans going to Houston and winning on the road. They're 2-8 against Houston. And so like
ready to beat us next week.
Yeah, actually. They're feeling good.
How confident do you feel in that game?
Not confident at all right now.
At this point, I'm searching for something. I'm gonna say bye week. So I'm picking us to lose. Like, that's just where I'm at.
We're just limping to the bye, 7-6.
Just limping to the bye, and then maybe things look better afterwards when we got much tougher opponents. Who knows? So like the Ekeler. I was surprised he took it out.
I wasn't. Initially I was, but as he was taking it out, I was like, you know what? Given how crazy this game is, like maybe, and he's broken some before.
I know. But
go for it. Get us as many yards as you can.
I get
maybe
it.
you house it
with the lack of timeouts, which also bad challenge.
Horrible challenge. Another coaching decision. I know it slowed down, but you could see.
No, it just. I was like, why are you challenging?
It was bang bang.
They did the replay. Like it was like, what are you doing?
JP Finley said it was a good challenge. It was a horrible challenge.
No, it was a bad fucking challenge.
Horrible challenge.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. My thing was like, we saw what happened with the Chicago game. The idea to me is like, if you know you're going to start at the 35 or 30, whatever it is,
Yeah.
I think you can hit some of those bang plays and get us in at least position like that. At least that was my mentality with it. Was like, I just want more time. I want more shots. Like this game is clearly kind of crazy. I get Eckler's philosophy at that point. Once again, rules and analytical thinking. You know what? I don't even say cognitive thinking at all.
I was going to say, I think it's just called thinking. Yeah.
Thinking just went out the window at the end. It was just,
it was weird.
I haven't rewatched it. I'm sure I could probably rewatch that end of that game, man. What the fuck was that? I still don't understand.
It was insane. I mean, the box score, you've seen the box score, yeah? Like the first 3 quarters.
Right. Well, yeah, and then the explosion.
Yeah.
But even this, I hated looking at this.
Like
the absolutely. It feels like lies.
Oh, they are lies. They are lies. I mean, the 267 pass yards, subtract 86, or 90, because then we get another one. The rush yards, if you take away even half of Jaden's, not all of them because Jaden earned those, but like if you're looking at just our running backs, nothing. The turnover is a lie. It was 2, not 3, because the last one was whatever. But the time of possession tells the story. K-Dot, I read you that stat last time where the teams that are in last place in the last 3 games, horrible, all of them. What do we do? Found a way to land up at 24 minutes again. Like that should tell you all you need to know. If you're capable of running, and we are, run. It's that simple. We have the personnel to do it. That much I do believe in because we've shown it. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck that. Next week, I ain't saying run the ball anymore this season. Throw it!
No, I'm reminding him. Run the ball. Run the ball!
We got no identity. Just throw it!
We'll truly be district divided. We go, Tony. Shout out, Tony. Frauds. We saw Dallas had morphed into the Redskins. We're nothing without B-Rob. Sad face emoji. That's true. The difference between when we have Brian Robinson and when we don't is staggering, at least from a feel perspective. I'll look up the numbers itself, but like we are different without Brian Robinson. You talk about an MVP, obviously it would be Jaden just because of how he's transformed the franchise along with the coaching staff. But man, talk about a running back that's important to this team in an era where analytics people are like, oh, running backs don't matter. First off, shut the fuck up. And secondly, absolutely matters. Like Brian Robinson's so important to us, K-Dot. He is.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we run. I think I'm not even sure. I think we run more than 17 times with our running backs if Brian Robinson's healthy the whole time.
But Brian Robinson, I'm just saying.
He falls forward. We've talked about it.
Yeah, he had 16 carries against Philly. I didn't really do well. He had like I'm just saying, like I get like talking about mentality and identity. I love B-Rob. I love his ability to make contact, and I think that does give you some energy. I think it absolutely does give you some energy, and I think you should lean on that. That should be more of the identity of this team. It's like when I was talking to some Eagles fans, they're like, Jalen's got to do this, that. I'm like, the offense runs through Saquon.
Yeah.
You guys realize this, right?
Obvious.
Even everything that Lamar's doing in Baltimore, the reason it looks so fucking spectacular is the offense kind of runs through Derrick Henry. Like
it does. And do you notice that when they don't run the ball, which happens to happen in some of the bigger games, they lose? Like it just hurts Lamar when he has to do it all on his own versus, and he still does fine, but like when he has Derrick Henry and they're using him, everything gets easier. Everything. You want to get out of a rut? Just, there's no simpler. I've yet to see a team consistently stop a handoff. A handoff is free. You can just do that. And then it's up to your offensive lineman to actually generate the push. They had been generating the push. If they're no longer generating the push, fine. Like all 22 will tell us, and I'm looking forward to that, K-Dot. But what better way to get out of a rut?
Also, I get it. This has been something that's been happening all year. I kind of talked about it earlier in the season, and now I feel like it's coming back again, except for one time today. I don't think Jaden's reading the read option right.
Okay.
It feels like he's holding it when he should hand it off. He's handing it off when he should hold it.
I thought he did a decent job today.
No, today I thought, especially that the Parson play when he got Parson.
Yeah, and Greg Olsen explained that perfectly.
No, it was great. Like that one, I was like, so that's why I was hesitant to say anything because I remember like that's the play that everybody's gonna fucking remember. But there are so many times, like, how many times have you seen this season Jaden back with the ball, delayed handoff, and whoever gets the ball gets swallowed immediately?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, is that the way that looks?
Well, but so here's the thing, right? Is that it's not oftentimes what's frustrating is that it's not even the defensive lineman or backer he's reading making that tackle. Like, I think that's the thing. Yeah. So, like, if he hands it off because he's reading, sometimes he does read it incorrectly, just to be clear. So,
but you're not just supposed to read that. You need to read the rest of the defense too.
But you're looking at the backer, right? You're literally looking at the backer. I can't also be like, well, how would he do if I handed it? Like, it's more of the backer.
Pre-alignment, you say whether
the pre-alignment, yes, the pre-alignment, absolutely.
Hey, they got 6 guys on the line. They got 6 guys on the line, and 2 linebackers are right there in the gap.
Once the play's live, you're not like ball out. You're staring at the backer typically. Like maybe
there's sometimes where I feel like the ball is being handed off to someone, and it's surprising. I feel like the defender is making contact while the ball is being.
You're right. I have seen that. I have seen that.
Like, and I know that I've seen some situation where you got like a Lamar Jackson, whatever, sees that happening and says, "Oh, you're currently getting tackled, so I'm not going to hand this to you."
Lamar's actually keep it. He keeps it in there for a while too. He's really good at it. Like he'll put it in and then like I don't know if they coach that. They probably do. Where Lamar's like, I'm gonna pull it out even if you're a yard forward and just like.
There's also some sleight of hand stuff that I wish that Jaden worked a little bit better on. Like the best I've seen in the league do it is probably golf. You don't even know if he has the ball and doesn't have the ball sometimes if you're not looking properly. Mm-hmm. There's just some things that I think you can work on as far as the nuances of the game that just make it better. And I just feel like they don't get paid attention to sometimes. I don't know.
No, that's fair. Any final thoughts? That was the last comment.
No, man. Fuck this game.
Fuck this game. This was the show. This was District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry, it's a misery Monday. I'm Amit. That's K-Dot. And if you enjoyed the episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
Check out Amelia Perez on Netflix. I really want people's opinions on this movie. And then share this shit. So we appreciate you guys. We'll see you Friday, 2 p.m. All 22 review and the preview against the Tennessee Titans. So until then, take it easy. Yes. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.